When you start a business, there's an expression that you will grow faster with OPM, other people's money, because that influx of capital gives you the resources to grow. With your marketing, other people's content can do the same thing.
Best ideas you've got from a marketing perspective for small business owners in this day and age?
One of my favorite ideas is one that we still use with other clients today, but it started with Randall Beans. They sell beans in glass jars. Everybody else sells beans in the United States in cans, and they're disgusting. We took over working with them. They had 250 people on their email list and about that many friends on Facebook. And we came up with an idea to create original recipes and bundle them in digital cookbooks. You could get this digital cookbook just by giving us your email address. Fast forward 10 years later, their email list tops about 9,000 people actively opening emails every single week. Their Facebook fan page is now about 7,500, all because we came up with this idea of creating a piece of content that was relevant. It wasn't really anything, it was related to the product. They don't sell their product online. If you have any idea how heavy a glass jar filled with beans is, you understand why, and how breakable, why they don't sell the beans online. All we were doing was creating awareness and a loyal fan base and a group of people who were excited and who look to Randall for their recipes. We have 25 different virtual cookbooks now and probably 500 or 600 recipes, including a bunch of reader submitted ones. That is still my favorite strategy.
Talk to me about the readers submitted ones. That's quite an interesting take on things as well.
That's one of my other favorite marketing ideas, this concept of user-generated content. When you start a business, there's an expression that you will grow faster with OPM, other people's money, because that influx of capital gives you the resources to grow. With your marketing, other people's content can do the same thing, assuming you ask for permission and you don't just scrape it off their website because that's bad form. But throwing a question out on social media, asking your community who knows and loves you to share photographs of their product. Jimmy Fallon, he does late night television here, used to do a thing where he would throw a question out on Twitter and people would respond and he would read the best answers on the show live that night. It was original. It was stuff he would never have thought about. It was clever. It was funny. It gave his writers a break. And people would keep playing along because social media is about ego. And they kept hoping, well, maybe next time he'll read my stuff. And so adapting that kind of mentality, inviting people to participate with you, rewarding them by recognizing them, by saying thank you publicly, and by sharing what they give you. It's authentic content. It's stuff you would never think about. The readers are more likely to share the results because it strokes their ego as well.
So you use the digital recipe cards then for this company. How could a coach or a consultant where they're kind of selling something which is intangible, how could we encourage them to, or their clients to start submitting user-generated content?
Two sides of it. Number one, I would certainly ask for reviews. I would ask for case studies where I would talk to my customers, and we do this as well. We talk to our customers and ask them, can we write a case study about the project we just did with you? Psychotherapists have a little more problem with this because so much of what they do is confidential, but sharing success stories that don't dive into the nature of what the issue was, or running a poll or a survey. What are the top 5 issues you're wrestling with? If you have a Facebook group or a Facebook page, throw out a little poll and say, what are 3 things you wish you could do better next year? And now you compile this list and share that back. And then maybe you write blog posts, have podcast interviews about the topics that people care the most about, and thank them for their suggestion.
Another one of my favorite books, actually, just reminded me, is called They Ask, You Answer. No, I can't remember his name, but he talks about, obviously, when people are punching in search terms into Google and it comes up with the suggestions, well, those are actually things which people are searching for on Google. So if you were to type in business coach, it might come up with how much does a business coach cost? How do you know if you can find a trustworthy business coach, and those sorts of things. And he suggested that you should then write up blog articles, like you suggested, answers to all of those different questions which they're asking. And I'm a massive fan of social proof in any way, shape or form. So the question I get asked a lot is, Robin, how on earth did you get 110 5-star reviews on Google? I just went out and asked for them. Like, most people are so busy selling the next client, they forget to think about their existing clients.
Absolutely. And you touched on two things I really want to hit on really quick. Number one is we do a whole program on what's called content-based SEO, where you stop trying to game the system and win search on a keyword, and you start just answering the questions. And there's a whole exercise of going through and looking for all the possible questions that people might have and answering them, because now there is a chance that you will show up for those different topics based on your answers. And the other thing is those reviews. Yes, you want to have them on Google and you want to have them on Facebook and wherever else people are leaving them. You want to ask permission to put them on your website as well.
Yeah.
Why? Because they contain the words that other people will use when they're looking for you. That's not you defining your services. That's a customer talking about what you do in their words. And that's incredibly powerful, both of those from an SEO perspective.